George Smith Patton Jr. was born on November 11th, 1885. He was born in San Gabriel, California. Patton had one sister, and his family was linked to every American war. Always knowing he would end up in the Army, Patton attended 1 year at VMI, having been rejected from West Point, until he got accepted the next year. Although Patton was terrible in academia, he still graduated West Point at the bottom of his class. Patton competed in the 1912 Stockholm Olympics and competed in the first modern pentathlon, taking 5th place. Some controversy did arise during the marksman competition of the 1912 Olympics. All of Patton's competitors used a .22 caliber gun, while Patton used a .38. The holes of Patton's shots were much larger than those of his peers. When the judges claimed he had missed a shot, Patton claimed he had shot through the hole of his previous shot. Patton attended the French Cavalry School after West Point. There, he designed what was to be known as the Patton sword, bought in bulk by the U.S. Army. Patton believed in reincarnation. He felt he had earlier lives as a Napoleonic officer and a Roman legionnaire. Patton married Beatrice Eyre, and they had 3 children. Patton was assigned under John J. Pershing. After a misfire with an inferior gun, Patton would always carry an ivory-handled Colt revolver. Under Pershing, Patton, on a border patrol, was the first American to use a car in an attack, and became known as the Bandit Killer. Patton was the first American to drive a tank, the first member of the U.S. Tank Corps, and he won the Battle of Cambrai, the first large-scale tank battle. Patton led his tank brigade to a win in the Meuse-Argonne operation. Determined to always lead from the front, Patton designed a system to communicate with the whole brigade and stay on the front lines, even after getting wounded in the leg. One of Patton's most famous quotes is, "Do everything you ask of those you command." In the intervening years between World War I and World War II, Patton stayed in the Army and tried to have more tanks built. Patton researched many improvements to tanks, such as better radios, cannons, and machine guns. Congress did not agree to build more tanks until the war started in Europe again. Patton was made Commanding General of the 2nd Armored Division on April 11, 1941. There was when he started to give his famous blood and guts speeches to his division. In November 8, 1942, Patton was chosen to lead the Western Task Force, the only completely American group in Operation Torch. Patton took Casablanca, Morocco in 3 days and made peace with the French Vichy's there. Across the North African campaign, Patton remained largely undefeated. Patton was often held back to let British tank commander Montgomery take the victories. Patton would support Montgomery in many tank expeditions. In Operation Husky, Montgomery and Patton worked together to take back the island of Sicily. Patton supported Montgomery on many of his landings. Patton went faster than Montgomery through Sicily, taking the victory. On two separate occasions, Patton slapped a soldier under his command in front of a reporter. "You're looking great, son. You'll be killing Germans for me in no time. You look like you're about ready to start driving one of my tanks again. What's wrong with you, soldier?" I can't take it anymore, sir." "Can't take what?" The the war, sir." "Psh! You coward! I won't have cowards in my army. Get 'em out. These men are heroes. Get 'em out of here." When these slapping incidents became public, Patton received 11 months of non-active duty as punishment. In an effort to confuse and divert German forces from the D-Day invasion, Patton was stationed as a fake general of an invasion force with many inflatable tanks and pretend tents for imaginary soldiers. Patton would even go on radio organizing imaginary troops to confuse German forces. After not fighting on Normandy, Patton was eager to bring the fight to the Germans. Being put in charge of the Third Army, Patton and his infantry unit busted across Europe, destroying any Germans they came across. By the end, the Third Army took out 6 times their manpower. Horrified at the scope of the Holocaust, Patton initiated the practice of forcing German civilians to tour concentration camps. The Third Army's breakneck progress across Western Europe was brought to a sputtering halt when they ran out of fuel and Eisenhower had elected to give more fuel to Montgomery so he and the Brits could enjoy more of the glory than the Americans. Patton was recorded as believing communism was for the next war, and he was appalled when the Soviet Union forces got to Berlin before the American forces. Soon after the war in the European theater came to a close, Patton died from injuries sustained in a slow-speed crash. Patton died 12 days after the crash. Patton was buried in Luxembourg with many of his men. Yeah.